Here we go. Greetings from South Carolina. Danny Staten here on the Danny Dan blog and probably the fat comic book guy later on this week. Today I'm checking out Cowboy in Africa. It's the number one from 1967. Hey, Cowboy in Africa is an ABC TV show made in 1967, 68. Had about 24 episodes. But the cool thing about Cowboy from Africa is it starred the incredible. That's right, the incredible Chuck Connors, as he goes to Africa to introduce modern game techniques to the African people. Yeah, he plays radio champion Jim Sinclair, and he's on a mission to teach the Africans how to care for their wild animals. Like, they don't already know, right?
Cowboy in Africa. Brought to you by the makers of Sunshine Cookies and Crackers.
Oh, come on, don't act like you didn't know that was coming. So let's bust open this Gold Key comic book from 1967 or 68, Cowboy in Africa, and see what it's like on the inside. So the inside cover has some cool scenes from the TV show slash movie. Inside of it, they took the first two episodes of Cowboy from Africa, stuck them together, and made a full-length motion picture starring Chuck Connors. So as I said, it's a number one, and I love a number one. It's a number one from 1967, and some jackass named Richard has wrote his name in top of my comic book. I want to find Richard. Thrash Pondo, I want to find Richard, and bitch slap Richard. I really do. Richard, they're not writing comic books. It makes me angry. The comic book starts off with great excitement as an explosion blows up Cowboy in Africa's crib. That's right. Cowboy in Africa already under attack on the first page, and somebody is trying to blow up his little house. Well, okay, guys, it wasn't his little house. It was the outpost. They located it right there. And this bad, evil man's out trying to blow it up because he don't like Cowboy in Africa trying to help save the animals. Cowboy in Africa jumps in. Wonderbug? Cowboy in Africa has Wonderbug. So you know it's going to be cool because Cowboy in Africa drives Wonderbug, and I love Wonderbug. You can see our review on the Cross Super Show, Cross Superstars comic books, where you'll see Wonderbug. Meantime, little Samson, that's right, this little fella's name is Samson. You saw that in the opening credits, right? Yeah, I put the credits on here. Little Samson's out trying to figure out why these animals are acting sick. They're acting stupid. Samson flagged down Cowboy in Africa and Dr. Hayes and says, hey, that rhino looking like something wrong with him. So in full, distasteful, hard to see, hard to read little panels brought to you by the Daddy Dan blog. We're checking out Cowboy in Africa. They finding animals looking sick. They finding animals falling over looking like they done died in Jurassic Park. They finding animals drinking and eating on some green slime running down the river. What the heck is the green slime? They are confused. Yeah. Poor animals are getting sick everywhere. Animals are dying everywhere. The green stuff's making them crazy, making them attack, making them stampede. Cowboy in Africa is perplexed as he takes down a giraffe that is run amok. After a little investigation, Cowboy in Africa and Dr. Hayes, I'm going to call him Cowboy in Africa. His name's Sinclair. I know all that. I'm just going to call him Cowboy in Africa because that's a cool name, right? Cowboy in Africa tracks down the water and says, something is contaminating this here water. We need to figure out what it is, Doc. What is it? Cowboy in Africa is on the trail. Cowboy in Africa, they clear cutting some forests. They're going to build an enclosure. They're going to put the sick animals in quarantine. So in more full panels, brought to you by Daddy Dan Blog, we get the incredibly exciting tracking down the source of the contaminated water to the mountains. We get horse riding. We get investigation. We get taking a break. He get hurt on the horse and have to have his little leg fixed. See, that happened right over here. I'm sorry if I skipped that. Anyway, Cowboy in Africa says, Doc, you sit still. I'm going to go see what's going on and try to track this down. He runs into little Samson running around in the jungle because that's what little Samson does. Little Samson runs around in the jungle. But then suddenly, Cowboy in Africa comes under attack. His gunfire rings down all around him. Cowboy in Africa and Dr. Hayes grab their rifles and prepare to return fire. And return fire they do. Bang, bang, bang. As we see the two evil guys. This guy looking like a Bond villain. I do not know his name. I do not remember his name. Anyway, Dr. Hayes is a good shot. And we get to seeing a pile of something in a cave. Looks like some radioactive stuff. After some brief reading, I find out the bad guy in this comic book, the Bond villain, is named Ruger, and he owns the bank, and he's trying to take over the land, poison animals, so he can make millions and millions and millions of dollars. He has the police and the military in his pocket. He's going to make things rough on old Cowboy in Africa. He's starting his treachery now, as he's sending somebody to sabotage Cowboy's plane. They're gonna be a problem. He might have to call out Wonderbug, the fabulous Wonderbug. Meanwhile, Cowboy in Africa and Dr. Hayes begin to round up decontaminated animals and drive them towards the enclosure he has built. And now it's time for commercials. And I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't throw the commercials in there and tell everybody to be sure to check out my friend Pat McCormick over at the Golden Ranger TV. My friend Dave Sunstorm at The Good Stuff. My friend Thrash Pondo Ponds here on YouTube. You can also check out my good friend Ian over at Retro Serial, Big Guys 45s, and Corey's Comedy Channel. You know, The Good Stuff guys. I'm not real sure none of the Good Stuff guys would consider the crap I'm looking at now the good stuff. Oh, did I say that out loud? Anyway, we get an art gallery in the middle of the comic book, an art gallery where you can learn about the platypus, and you can learn about the anteater, you can learn about the aardvark and some weird-looking cows over there in Africa. Okay, bison, buffalo, whatever. And the crap never stops. And we get picture dictionary. We can check on a bull. We can learn to edit. Okay. What's that, a damn coffee machine? And do some fishing. It's chuckle time. We're going to get a cartoon joke. I'll hold this right here for a second so Corey's Comedy Channel can read the joke and probably steal it because that's what he does. Oh, here's another one for you. Did I say that out loud? I'm not even going to read that. I'm not even going to read that out loud. You got to read that yourself. And we're going to roll on through with some quick takes. Here's some quick takes. Here's some comedy genius. Here's some really good stuff for you to check out in one little quick swoop of your eyes. Oh, my God. And now we're going to get on to part 2 of Cowboy in Africa. And to round up a danger, the sabotage plane comes crashing in. The pilot and Dr. Hayes barely managing to escape, but the medicine for the animals safely arrives. That's right, in full panels, brought to you by the Daddy Dan Blog. Daddy Dan's watching as Cowboy in Africa and Dr. Hayes and the fabulous Wonderbug. Maybe I ought to call it Speed Buggy. Look at Speed Buggy doing the dance over there. They're all out trying to save these animals to be contaminated with some nuclear waste. Of course, they don't know that yet. Little Samson's just hanging around being himself. Wonderbug done took a bump. Wonderbug's going to have to be repaired. But they found a clue. I don't know what that clue means, but they found a clue. And the clue leads them to think it's going to be Rugger being the bad guy because that's his company logo. Oh, it's Rugger. Rugger, Ruger, Ragger. I can't pronounce that stupid name. Look at little boy jumping on the zebra over there. Way to go, Samson. I wish I could jump on a zebra like that and ride that sucker like the Lone Ranger. Cowboy in Africa takes off on his horse. Samson gets through because you're not supposed to ride a zebra, I don't guess. I guess that was a bad idea. I guess sheriff over here. This is the sheriff. The game warden, I guess that's Samson's dad. He gonna ride a horse instead. Dr. Hayes is just gonna have some dinner. Meanwhile, Ruger over here is turning his back and walking away from Cowboy in Africa like he didn't have nothing to do with it. He ain't buying it. Cowboy in Africa looks ill. Cowboy in Africa complains to the law. Cowboy in Africa goes for a confrontation with Ruger, whatever his name is. But when all's said and done, Cowboy in Africa, you cannot prove nothing. So Cowboy in Africa has to digress. Ruger decides to go back to the bank, do a little paperwork, and hang out. Cowboy in Africa's gonna spy on him. Him and little Samson. Back, little Samson, back. Him and little Samson are keeping an eye on the bad guys. Little Samson gonna tag along with Cowboy in Africa as they put the spy network on Ruger and his accomplice. They follow him. Ruger and his accomplice do not realize they're being followed into a secret passage. What? So in full panels, brought to you by the Daily Dan blog, I give you the dismal nightmare that is Cowboy in Africa. Cowboy in Africa putting the snatch and kibosh on the bad guy. Cowboy in Africa's gonna beat the information out of him, but of course, henchman grabs little Samson and holds a knife to his throat, leading to the capture of Samson and Cowboy from Africa. Yeah, I guess they're going to get locked in a cage or told everybody's evil plan. No, they're just going to be kicked loose because go away. And they run away. Oh my God, really, did that just happen? But Cowboy in Africa has a map. A map he lifted when nobody was looking. Somehow, I did not see that. Nowhere in the comic book, by the way. You know, that's some, I look back, that's some shabby writing right there, boy, when you introduce a secret map that was stolen and did not show it being stolen. Anyway, Cowboy in Africa's on the trail. Cowboy in Africa having to climb mountains, get guys together. They on the trail to find out what's at the end of the map. You know, they're going to have to climb trees and swing like Tarzan because it's Africa. You got to swing like Tarzan across crevasses. All to find a cave. The map has led them to the cave, where all the radioactivity stuff is being stored and leaking into the water supply, which is affecting the animals, which is a really long, drug-out story for a comic book for kids. Oh my God, this is going to be as bad as doing Mission Impossible. I got a couple of them that I've been putting off on kind of having to read them first. Oh my God. Anyway, a fight breaks out between Cowboy from Africa and the bad guys. And there's always a fight between the good guys and the bad guys. But eventually, little Samson puts the bite of pain on the bad guy Ruger, causing him to drop the gun. Cowboy from Africa knocks him out. They confiscate all the evil materials and save the water supply and get the medicine to the animals, which makes all the animals happy, and now they can release them from quarantine. What a quick little comic that was. It makes me want to pull my hair out and scratch out my eyes. And then we get mini comics in the back. Take a look at this stuff. Let me know in the comments below, Dave. If you actually watched this, if you think Cowboy from Africa was any kind of a good stuff comic book, good stuff show, I have to admit, Cowboy from Africa is one of the few TV shows I've never actually seen. I'm going to have to look up an episode of Cowboy from Africa and watch it. I had to study for the test. And here's a mini comics for you, Corey, over at Corey's Comedy Channel. I will not be surprised if I see this crap on your channel. And we get this hidden treasure, keys of knowledge in the back where we learn all about the secrets of the nasty, stinking opossum. Yeah, that's right, opossums, egg-stealing little weasels. Varmints that the Beverly Hillbillies eat, oh my God. And they did not waste a back cover, I'm so impressed. You get Cowboy from Africa, Dr. Hayes, and young Samson. I don't know who the other goof is. They all sitting on a horse instead of a zebra. I guess that's a good thing. And you get some more really cool TV show stills from Cowboy in Africa. I like the really cool use of the back cover. And to add you one even better, look at it. The whole back cover is a giant Cowboy in Africa poster. Now that's what I call cool. And that wraps up my look at Cowboy from Africa, starring Chuck Connors, the comic book based on a TV series from 1968. It's a gold key. It's a #1. The art in it was pretty good, actually. I did not hate the Cowboy from Africa art, even though I don't think Cowboy looked much like Chuck Connors. Hey, this is so old Chuck Connors don't look much like Chuck Connors. Be sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell. Let me know what you think about this piece of crap in the comments below. Till next time, dudes, blog over.